This is the Real Influencers podcast, real influence for real estate agents. I'm super excited today because we've got Glen Coutinho on the Real Influencers podcast. Welcome, Glen. It is awesome to have you here. So I just wanted to start off by asking you to give us a little bit about your background and really what was the thing that inspired you to get into real estate in the first place?
I've been in real estate for just on 35 years now. Started off in banking and finance as a treasury currency dealer at Westpac back in the late 80s. Transitioned into real estate because I saw a guy in a convertible and I thought I want to drive a convertible. So that was a logical reason to go into real estate, and then spent a couple of years in sales, won a few awards, became a director, got my own office, and then I've been running my own office for probably 30 years. I worked in Melbourne under Hocking Stewart first, and then I opened up a R.T. Edgar business in Melbourne. And then I ended up in Beverly Hills under Harcourts. So Harcourts have got 1,000 offices worldwide. We're an auction company. And they had an office in here that I could partner with a couple of people and get on with my real estate career. So came to Beverly Hills because I've got a 12-year-old, I've got 5 children, but 2 that do music, and a 12-year-old and a 14-year-old boy, Mason and Jules Coutinho, wanted to go and become rock stars and dragged mum and dad to Beverly Hills kicking and screaming. So we ended up here on their dream, and I opened up Harcourts Beverly Hills with a couple of partners, Alex, Crystal, Diana and Laurent. And we started that business with 2 salespeople in January, and we now have just under 30 salespeople in 5 months.
Wow, that's amazing. How have you grown so much so quickly?
We've just been out hunting, meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies, sending every person I meet flowers and chocolates, and just getting to know every, I suppose if you want to be successful in Beverly Hills, you have to walk around like you own it. And you really have to make what I would consider emotional deposits in people's lives along the way. And we've been out making friends and, collecting, spoiling people everywhere we go. From the hairdresser to the guy that parks your car to the concierge. They've all had a letter. They've all had thank you messages. They've all had chocolates. The concierge at the hotel parks my car for free now because I sent him some flowers and his wife. Little things. So, out and about.
Is the strategy in Beverly Hills different to the strategy in Melbourne that you might employ?
No, the strategy was meet somebody, impress them, spoil the crap out of them, make them a really good friend, and then you have a client for life. And we've been doing that hard here. We've got 2 Harcourts branded cars now driving around Beverly Hills. We're looking to get 10 to drive around the streets.
Wow.
That's the goal. And, every person we meet, we make a great, amazing first impression with them. I just had a client, just sent him some flowers for his birthday. Had another client today who's just got some flowers for his wedding anniversary. He's been in the area 32 years. He knows every real estate agent in town, but I'm the only one that sent him flowers for his anniversary today, and he's been here 30 years.
Wow.
So that's first impressions, long lasting.
Correct. I totally agree. Now, is that the secret to your success, which was really my second question?
It is. The secret to my success is spoiling everyone, and also I have my wife and 5 children who are all invested in the business. And, like we met some people last night. My son Billy was writing them thank you cards and letters. Brooke was doing them emails. The boys are dropping off packages. So all the kids are in the business. They're all, besides music, they're in the people spoiling business like me, and they help me. And that's what we do.
Fantastic. Awesome, Glen. That's really good.
I haven't even mentioned the fact that we sell houses, but that's only a minor part of it.
Do you know what? I think you're absolutely on the money there. I mean, that they're selling houses is kind of like the secondary gain of the relationship building. Would
Correct.
you say that was the case?
Correct. Yeah, we could be selling, cars or chickens. It's the same philosophy. Client for life, return business. Make sure you know everyone's name, wife's name, phone number, date of birth. All those little things, kids' names. I don't have a client in Beverly Hills where I don't know their kids' names, wedding anniversary, all the little things that count. Football. So I met this guy the other day, and he was a fan of the Detroit Pistons basketball, and I delivered him a hat yesterday with the Pistons on it. Client for life, $5.
Yeah.
Little things.
Yes, totally agree. All right, awesome. So my next question Did you get a chance to see the video I sent through? You
Yes.
may or may.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So I have a strategy that I believe that just differentiation is not about selling features and benefits. You've got to go and exactly what you're talking about, make that emotional connection, understand their values, their emotional desires or whatever. What sort of sales structure or strategies do you rely on outside of the relationship building?
Really, the main factor for me is getting to know my client. My conversation with the client is question-based always and note-taking without them knowing. But I want to know about them. What do they do? What do they like? What are their passions? And then I just feed it back to them in a very nice, friendly way. I make sure that I find one thing that I can never forget. I met a client the other day. Unfortunately, her husband passed away. They've got a boat named after the husband, and I've already had a plaque made up with the name of the boat to deliver her. I think what is the one amazing thing I can do that I will be remembered for a decade.
When you remember somebody like that, you help them to feel important. You help them to feel emotionally engaged with you as one of the many agents out there that they might be talking to.
Yeah.
Awesome. So with regard to the Australian market, where do you see that going in the next sort of 12, 24 months?
It's already been through about a 2-year retraction solid, and it probably pulled back at least 30% in the last 12 months, and it's hit the bottom, and it's now turned. You can feel that it's turned because the auction clearance rate was 53%. It's up around 65, 70 now already, and I can feel the wheels have turned positively. And I know because I sold some property at the bottom of the market, so generally when I sell, it's the bottom. But the market is definitely on the way up in Australia, and I think it'll continue its growth now slowly. There won't be another boom for a while, but we're going to get a slow rise over the next 12 months.
Awesome. Now, that's from a sort of buyers and sellers perspective. What about, there's been quite a few M&As between some fairly substantial players, like you've had Bell Property and Hocking Stewart, you've had Barry Plant Sunbury and First National, and then Colliers are coming into the market as well in Sydney. How do you think these kind of M&As and big players moving things around?
It makes no difference.
It makes no difference?
No, because, the business that was gone to one of them will just go to somebody else. Or if, Hocking Stewart and Bell Property merged, then the properties they were going to get, they were always going to get. It's all relationship based. They just get twice as much, but it's two firms joined, right? So the same business just moves. So it's like Purple Bricks have left Australia, right? It's no difference because the business that they had will just go back to another agent. Yeah. So the same amount of supply is always there. People will always pick their agent on relationships. And if you've been in the game a long time, it wouldn't matter whether you were R.T. Edgar, Harcourts, Hocking Stewart, they will follow the individual first and the brand second, always.
Right. So do you think there won't be any impact on more of the independent players who are out there fishing for... Okay, awesome. That's good to hear.
A solid boutique brand. So you've got Harcourts, R.T. Edgar, Jealous Craig, Marshall White, Fletcher's. They're strong brand with guys that have been there 10, 15 years. They're unbreakable. Do you know what I mean? They might merge. They're unbreakable brands. And then there's another tier of agents that just sometimes they amalgamate to get stronger. But it just doubles their sales force. It doesn't make their marketing any better or worse. But there's enough to go around.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. So final question, Glenn. If you were to give advice for somebody out there, an agent out there in the market right now to help them to be more successful going forward, obviously the relationship piece that you've talked about is brilliant advice and really good. Is there anything else you would offer up?
How long have you got?
How long do you need? As long as it takes.
Very, very critical things. One, look the part. I'm the only agent in Beverly Hills in a suit and tie with a badge. So if you don't know what you're doing, look like you do. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you don't know your game, turn up on time. So if everyone starts at 10, be in at 8 o'clock. Get there at 8, start at 8, go all day till 6 and go home, right? So put the hours and the time in and look like you own your town is absolutely critical. Be a walking billboard. And the one that agents hate to hear is you must make your 20 to 40 calls a day. 20 if you're a rock star like me, and if you're in your first year in real estate, you have to make 40 to 50 calls a day. So when I started in my career with James Tosterman and I, we did about 100 calls a day in our first couple of years. Now we've both got 6 kids. We don't have time for that. But certainly 40 calls a day, minimum for a new guy, not negotiable. And if you miss the second day, then it's 80. And if you miss the third day, it's 120. Self-accountable. If your boss has to tell you to do it, you're in the wrong game. Self-driven, self-motivated, Be nice to every person you meet, every single person. You've got to play the long game. Somebody rings me now and says, I'm selling my house in 15 years. I know I've got that house. Whereas most agents think that's too far away. You have to have a long-term vision, and you have to be remembered. So I could go on for hours, but there's some main critical factors. Social media is a strong impact now in real estate. So if you're not posting once a day, every day on every social media site, you will be forgotten very quickly.
Thank you, Glenn. That was absolutely amazing. You're a star for coming on the podcast, and I wish you all the very best of luck. Not that you really need it out there in Beverly Hills. I'm sure you're going to smash it. That's Glen Coutinho, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Glenn. Have a fabulous day.